While we know that there are many Persian translations of the Torah, including epic poem versions, and there are definitely Persian loanwords in later biblical texts, does the Persian language actually appear in the Torah? Well, sort of. This week we read Parashat Vayaseh, where Yaqub and Lavan make a pact and name the place of their pact according to their languages. Yaqub calls it Gal-ed, meaning place of the witnessing in Hebrew, and Lavan, the Aramean, calls it Yegar Sahadutha, which is the same thing in Aramaic. Those two words, Yegar Sahadutha, are some of the only non-Hebrew words in the entire Torah, and they denote the separation between Yaqub the Israelite and Lavan the Aramean, a linguistic difference between what would become two important Semitic nations. Is that phrase really Aramaic? Linguistically, it's clear. Yagar is related to the Hebrew gar, to live, and Sahadutha is the Aramaic word for witness, a cognate of the Arabic shahada, used in the Islamic profession of faith and related to shahid or martyr, along with the uta suffix that means quality of. Yagar Sahadutha, the place or dwelling of the witnessing. But the Babylonian Talmud says something else. In Midrash Rabbah, Shemuel bar Nachman, who lived in the 200s and 300s, is quoted as saying regarding that phrase, Al Yeheh Lashon Parsi Hazeh Kal Be'enecha. Let this Persian language not be insignificant in your eyes. And goes on to explain that God pays tribute to this Persian language by including it in the Torah, prophets, and writings. Similarly, medieval French-Jewish commentator Rashi refers to the word tit amer in Parashat Kiteseh as being in the Persian language. What's going on? Did Rashi, who was born nearly 1,000 years ago, secretly speak Persian? Was his name, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, really Mullah Suleiman Esaghian? And he loved to do baba karam and drink the golab from Sadaf? Well, no, probably not. But it seems he was copying Shemuel bar Nachman's same labeling of Aramaic in the Babylonian Talmud as Persian, so we should really be wondering if Shemuel bar Nachman was Shamuel Ne'emanpur, who loved to drink his sharbat with Arakabid Meshk while listening to Shajarian. And that's closer. Because from the perspective of a Jew living in the 200s and 300s, Aramaic was a Persian language. Sure, it's native to what is today Syria and is generally unrelated to the Indo-European Persian language, but over many centuries, Aramaic had become the lingua franca of the Middle East to the extent that when the Persian Empire took over all the land from India to Greece to Ethiopia, they made Aramaic the official language of their empire. The Persian Sasanian dynasty, under whom pretty much the entirety of the Babylonian Talmud was written, spoke Middle Persian, which has plenty of loanwords in the Talmud, and seems to be the source for many of the languages that the Jews of Iran spoke even into the modern era, while the Jews of Kurdistan still speak Aramaic to this day. And so the answer is yes, in the sense that for a millennium before the rise of Islam, Aramaic was considered a Persian language, despite it being Semitic like Hebrew, and in the sense that Iran is one of the places where the Aramaic language was best preserved into the modern day. There is indeed a Persian language in the Torah itself. Sure, it's like 3 words, but 3 words goes a long way when you're Persian.